You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
Yes.
And some entrepreneurs, Yolanda Williams and Rick Williams.
Hi,
Welcome, guys.
Thank
Hello.
you. Welcome. Happy to be here.
They got some product that's like crack that they sent up here for me that actually Yee gave me, and somebody stole it.
Listen, I had every single one of these cream blends, lotions, and I started off with the oatmeal honey body butter for me, which is amazing.
Thank you.
But let's talk about your guys' history, even before doing this,
Yeah.
because you are married.
Yes.
How long have you guys been together?
We actually just celebrated our 14th anniversary day before yesterday.
On the 30th.
Oh,
On
he
the
don't even
30th.
know. Look at
Yeah.
this.
It was
It's
just
important.
happened.
Yeah.
I know you guys had plenty of arguments doing your own business together.
Actually, not really.
Really? No.
No.
I think that everything was started. We were best friends. We've been married. We got married in college.
Okay.
Like literally, got married and went back to school on Monday.
Really?
Didn't go on any.
No honeymoon.
Yeah,
Well,
our
let's talk about that. How did y'all
Yeah.
know that she was the one and that he was the one?
At the end of the day, I listen to God. For everything.
Mhm.
God is the reason that we're even here right now.
Absolutely.
We as soon as I got out of college, when we were in college, I just had a feeling, and when I met Yolanda, we knew that something was there. We had been together for 3 years before we got married.
But we kind of moved our wedding up. So both of our grandmothers just so happened to have breast cancer.
Mm.
My grandmother had brain cancer, and Rick's grandmother had breast cancer at
And you
the
wanted her to
same
be there.
time.
Yep.
So we were engaged, and we were like, we'll wait till we're done with college. But because they had cancer, we wanted to kind of speed things up. So
That's
we
dope.
literally planned a wedding in like 2 months.
Wow.
My grandmother did pass away. She did see me get married, and
Okay.
she did see
Yeah.
us have our first child
Nice.
together. And Rick's grandmother is still here. But we kind of moved it up because of
Just in
that. We
case.
already knew that this is what God wanted for us. It was just written in the cards. Like, I just feel like, how you just had that gut feeling like, okay, we can do this together. Broke, no money.
Like we were super broke. So that's another thing that's like a blessing. Like it started out, we had nothing
Ain't
together.
that the best though?
Yeah.
Ain't that the
We
best?
literally-
Yeah.
I've been
Me
with
and
him
my-
since
me
he
and my
was
wife was
shooting.
broke, so now that we
In
got
the
it
gym.
don't matter.
There's
Like,
no question.
Yeah.
The money and the stuff is
You
just,
know that
it's just add-ons and
It's
extras.
a tool.
You know
Yep.
that Jay-Z line, even though he didn't mean it the same way when he was like, we were so happy poor, but when we got rich, like he's talking about things changing, but I use that line like we were
Yeah.
happy poor.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people don't know how to go back and cope with life. I know what I can go back to, and I'm fine with that.
Cool with
So
that.
there is no thoughts of suicide or anything because we're used to being we came from the bottom.
It's also
there's
that
no
feeling
fear.
of knowing that somebody's
no
there
fear.
for me.
Yeah, it's like,
and
I'm
not for
good.
financial. It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now let's
that's
talk about becoming entrepreneurs
Mm-hmm.
after all of that, because you guys were a young married couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough too.
So I think right after college,
And we went to Oakland University.
we went to Oakland University together, and I went to I was like working at a call center, but I was an intern at Burn Rubber. Burn Rubber was started in 2004 by Kenny Carroll.
Okay.
Burn
And
Rubber, tell them what Burn Rubber is.
So Burn Rubber is I own the brand called Burn Rubber, and we have a sneaker store that we started in 2007. Ro Coit and I bought Burn Rubber in 2007 and turned it into the brand that it is today.
So
Correct.
you interned there and then you ended up buying.
I was an intern, yeah, and then when it was time for him to sell, I was still working at that call center, and I didn't know how I was gonna get the money.
How much did you pay for Burn Rubber back then?
Come on,
It was a long
gonna
time
tell
ago.
it wasn't that much.
Oh,
They asked for like $250, and we probably paid half.
Okay.
But how'd you get the money?
So my grandfather, I thought I wasn't gonna get it because of our circumstances. Like I only had one parent in the house at the time, and I didn't know where I could get this money, and I couldn't fathom the amount of money.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I was broke. So, once again, I just mentioned it. Like I had already told Ro, I was like, bro, one of us needs to get this. And it was my mentor who owned the store. So I was like, here, Ro, at least you can get it. I'm not going to be able to get it. And I mentioned to my grandfather that, I had this opportunity. I wasn't going to ask. I can't ask a person for that type of money.
Right.
So I wasn't even asking him. I was just telling him. I had already told Ro I was out. And then I showed my grandfather. He was like, Rick, I could give you that on Thursday.
Damn, Gramps.
But it was like, what I learned from that point was.
That's why I be working
But it
so
wasn't.
hard.
That's why we work hard.
Yeah. So basically, what he taught me
You do
is
that on Thursday.
like he had money put away, and it's not like he handed us 250 grand. He gave me my half of that what we needed to put out. And when he did that, that sowed a seed in me. Because now with our children, our purpose, the Distinct Life, our creative agency, Burn Rubber, Cream Blends, all of these are just tools, and these are the things that God gave us right now to build. And our purpose is to really be an example and to help other people reach their dreams through the things that God has given us.
But that's great. And you know what? And I think you and I both do this. We try to teach our community that.
Yes.
You know, teach our community about owning your own and investing and saving and not just leaving your money in the bank and making it work for you. A lot of people don't do that. You know what I mean? It's amazing that your grandfather had $75,000 to give you.
He didn't have that. It wasn't that much, but
like
he gave me my portion.
Which is great. Now, why was the guy selling Burn Rubber? It wasn't
because
doing well?
he was actually a running rep. They're older than me and Ro, and you know he had a better opportunity in Portland with Nike. So he left, and we were like, well,
we got it.
Did it start making money immediately, or did it take some time?
We didn't have
no way.
No way. Like when
fast.
When
I
we
was
first
still
got
working
it,
in corporate America.
Yolanda was working the whole time, and it wasn't until like later on where you know I don't deal with the store. Like I'm not in the store anymore. I just handle the brand and do design, and Ro and I work on creative direction together. Because now I'm more full time with my agency and with Cream Blends, and those businesses Yolanda and I own and run 50-50 for everything.
Right.
Now we had a discussion about how Burn Rubber was actually kind of the catalyst for you to be able to get into having a creative agency and working with other brands. And I was saying that Envy's going to be really excited. I don't know if you could tell him about a deal that you're working on now.
Which one?
I said, which one? I got a million of them, Yeet. Which one?
I don't know.
We can't. Okay, so forget that one. But let's talk about some brands.
I'll talk to him after, but there's certain things
that
aren't
one.
finished.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know if we can bring that up. But let's
talk
talk about some of the brands you have collaborated with that people are familiar with.
Yeah, so just to your point, through Burn Rubber, it was very important to us to tell stories of the city, and we would tell them through footwear projects. So that's kind of how, that's kind of one of my niches. You know,
the city
that's
of Detroit.
what I love.
Right.
Yeah, well, just telling stories through product.
How many shoes have you designed?
We've done probably I think it's 15 different SKUs that I've designed.
That's dope.
And now we have some cool ones coming out even for other companies. So the Distinct Life, my wife and I, I'll come up with the concept. She writes all of the press releases for me. She's done, she helps me really refine the story.
Gotcha.
So it's really a two-person team, and no one knew for all of this time.
Right. So how did you break out of that and get into some of the cosmetic line is what they call it? I don't know what they call it. What department? How did y'all get into that?
So in 2000,
cosmetics.
I don't know what it's called.
Skincare.
So in 2013, I had a friend. Her name was Kristen, and I worked with Kristen at a company. I have a master's degree in education, so I used to work in education, selling technology products to school district. One of my accounts was actually on the East Coast in New York, and she would bring us products, and I said, I want to learn how to make soap. Can you teach me? But I'm also a person, once I get an idea in my head, I didn't even wait long enough for her to be able to teach me, so I literally that weekend
You was that bored. Your husband just
started
bought a
making,
sneaker store. You were working in corporate
I was
America.
like, hey, Envy, I had to make my
you
own lane.
Make soap. All right, go ahead.
So I made soap. Then I started with the body butters and oils and everything. Launched the website in December. By February of 2014, so literally 3 months later, I got the product into Whole Foods.
Wow. Now, what's the? Can you explain that a little bit? Because I figure you have to test it and all that other stuff. You just can't say, okay, I made soap and just sell it to people, because it has to be tested. It has to be tried out. How does that work?
So we gave it to friends and family. So I was just basically giving it away,
Making
testing
sure
the
nobody
market,
got no rashes.
seeing how you have to watch the product over time. So with the jars, seeing how they uphold in heat. If there's, there can't be any water that gets into the product because of mold, and I don't use preservatives or fillers. That's what Whole Foods liked about the brand.
I've actually seen you make it.
Yeah.
You showed me the whole process.
It's a lot of research and development, a lot of, thousands of dollars that were lost testing the product. And then I had to give it to Whole Foods, and they had to go through all my suppliers and the ingredients to make sure that it's appropriate for their shelves. So I'm literally learning I was literally learning everything on the fly. There wasn't like I could call, Lisa Price from Carol's Daughter and say, hey, how did you do this from start to finish? So we just really tested the market, and Rick already had that branding and marketing experience with Burn Rubber. So our packaging, I wanted everything to look, very aesthetically pleasing. So if it's on the shelf at a Nordstrom's, you wouldn't even know that it was made in the kitchen. Everything, I was just telling George, our photographer and friend, that everything started in the kitchen. And then now we just got it to where we are the ones that are trying to manage the brands and having people overseeing like things like manufacturing and social media and things like that.
I think that's like naturally where we're building now. Like both of us have like one person that's kind of like, I'm training my guy Kyle. He's like my little brother.
Yeah, my right hand woman is Natalie.
And they're like, what we're learning is, one, we're experiencing life with them, and they're on this journey with us. It's like I've known Kyle for a long time. He's like a little brother. He was literally my mentee when we were in college. He was in a program that they brought high school students up to the school, and we were like the mentors. And now he's literally my second in command on the creative side for our agency. And it's every day. We're working through real life issues. Like, he's learning lessons about being a man and learning lessons about what you need to do in business so that we can actually go out and do what we need to do for our community. I believe that our business is a ministry.
Right.
We're talking about the word together. We're applying the word together. In a non-traditional way. I'm not at church every Sunday.
How many of these products that are on the shelves are minority owned? Because my wife, she's a skincare buff. Like, she goes through every product. She tries stuff. And I remember we did a podcast, and she talked about a product called Tatcha. I think it's called a Tatcha. I don't know. But whatever it was, when she mentioned it, it sold out in all the Sephora's. That Tatcha actually reached out to me, was like, we just want to send your wife stuff. But she was like, there's not too many products for minorities on the shelves.
Is that like an exfoliant face scrub?
You asking
I think
me?
I have it.
Really?
You asking me? But is there that many products? Is it hard to get minority products on the shelves?
It is, and the beauty industry is a $15 billion industry, and that's just in the organic side. And probably, I would say, not even 10% of those are minority owned businesses. But so I feel like there's a lane for that. And a lot of companies like a L'Oreal are acquiring brands like a Carol's Daughter, or I forgot another brand that they acquire. But they're acquiring brands that appeal to that multicultural market so that they can now appeal, like, because Black people, we spend a lot on products. Our hair products, you'll get a shampoo. If you show it to somebody that's white and they're like, oh my God, you guys would pay like $50 for a shampoo, but that's just how it is. So I feel like there's a lane for minorities to be in because they want to sell to us.
I think it's there. I think the problem is, like, we're an example. Like, we're small. We've done what we've done with the bread that we have. And we all know that through history, we're in our position that we're in. We might not have come up with the same education or the same experiences as maybe some of our counterparts of other races, and a lot of times we end up finding ourselves behind. Gotcha. But I don't necessarily think it's because we're minorities. I think it's because we didn't have the same resources.
Right.
Because we're here, we have the knowledge, but we have never had an investor. We're just learning about venture capital right now.
Even trying to go to the bank.
Once you do sell to another company, then it's not Black owned anymore.
Well, actually, you don't have to sell
the majority percent
or the majority of it. You can get, once you value your company and you find out this company is worth this, and then I'm selling you a percentage.
Right. As long as you don't sell majority of your company, you still own it.
And you could, and that would still change the world for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to, sell out to make it.
Right.
We're doing fine, but we need to, get.
Elevate.
We have things
Yeah.
in place. We're planning. We're working at that right now, but. Maybe that's the next interview. We'll come back like, hey guys,
got an announcement.
It's a new day.
But I feel like there's opportunities for other, like there's a lot of Black-owned, like venture capitalist fund. So funds that are supporting minority businesses. So in that case, even if they get a percentage of the business, we have the capital to continue on, and we can still say we're 100%
and I don't mind
Black-owned.
doing that.
But we got to find those venture capitalists that are, because there are companies like mine that have started in the kitchen and then were sold for $1 billion to like even Carol's daughter, like they, like helping take on debt and stuff from the company and helping to try to grow the brand. So that's what
people were so mad at her for selling Carol's daughter. Like they were like, oh my God, she sold Carol's daughter. They were upset about that.
Yeah. Maybe I should have bought more Carol's daughter.
Right.
And then she wouldn't have had to sell. That's my whole thing. Like another thing we really wanted to make sure that we talked about was cooperative economics.
Right.
At the end of the day,
sometimes people want to sell though. Like some people want to.
And I don't fault her for it.
They want to retire and sell it. I'm not mad at that.
Imagine this: if you're selling enough product on your own, you can maintain control, and then you can still grow on your own terms. Right. And I don't know the ins and outs of what happened with her, but I do know that there's a time where we would ideally like to sell. But sometimes you have to sell before that because you don't have the resources to get to that time.
Correct.
Right.
And so I think that a lot of times that's where we are. And to me, I applaud her for being a quiet.
And I reached out to Lisa Price on Instagram, just in a DM, telling her that I was a young, Black woman entrepreneur. I used her as the blueprint on how to build a brand, getting, endorsements and everything. And she reached back and said, basically, I give you my blessing. You're going to do well.
That's dope.
One of the stores that I sell in Detroit called Talani Rose, that was also one of her first stores when she was still in the kitchen selling the product out of her Brooklyn loft. I think people used to actually come there and shop in her home. So her reaching out is like, I don't fault anybody. And unless if you're not in business and you don't understand the pressure of having all these stores and debt.
And the time, and you got family.
She had to move. So I applaud her, and I think she still is very much a part of the brand, just without that stress.
Right.
You got to unload that backpack.
But at the end of the day, we still need to practice cooperative economics. All of us. Like if you're someone that knows Rick and Yolanda, and you haven't even tried the cream blends, then you're not doing what you're supposed to do for the community.
Like we had some of our friends buying product yesterday.
That's a good way to put it.
And so we were like, we had this business for 5 years.
People forget black guilt works.
But it's not. But at the end of the day, it's like it's black. You might call it black guilt.
It is though. Why you not supporting your own?
If you have a good product.
If you have a good product.
Yeah, if it's a quality product, give it a try. If you don't like it after you try it, don't try it again.
But don't just walk past it and go to all the white brands.
But they do. And I was saying,
enjoy that water.
Exactly.
Even when we found out we were coming here, when Angela gave us the opportunity to come onto the show, there are a lot of people that we know, went to college with, that are just now buying the brand as of yesterday, because now it's like, once you feel like, okay, they're going on a Breakfast Club, maybe it's been exclusive this whole time.
People are late sometimes.
And so now we're trying to tell people, like, a lot of times before we even get to venture capitalists, if we're just supporting our own, I may not even need an investor right away, and I can continue on.
That's why we're thankful for this opportunity, for you inviting us here. And
we have a pop-up shop happening at Juices for Life in Brooklyn also, which I'm excited for. I really love the product. That's why I was like, listen, when I first got it and you guys got me a sample of it and I tried it, I was like, this is amazing.
And you came to
I came and I had to come
the space.
You said pop-up shop. Where's that going to be?
It's going to be at Juices for Life, 277 Malcolm X Boulevard in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So there's a limited amount, so make sure y'all come today because...
What time?
Yeah, it's hopefully gone.
What time you?
All day. We'll be there.
All day long. All right, so Juices for Life, BK.
Thank you.
Get a juice and get some skincare.
It's for your face or just body? Okay.
All over. So it's made with a base of shea butter.
And I've seen her make it. So I know how it's done. It's amazing.
Okay. So y'all not going to give me one? Somebody stole mine?
I got you. I got a whole bag.
We got you. Envy, relax. What about cooperative economics, y'all?
Yeah.
All right, we just talked about
every time I saw Envy on, like, people would send me screenshots, like, look at Envy talking, and the cream blends would be in the background.
Every morning I used it, and then somebody stole it.
And Donnell Rose was up here.
He
Donnell, he shout him out.
And we sent him a whole bunch.
Yeah, he did.
Ashy, and it helps out a lot.
And they were like, if it helped Ashley Larry,
and you guys are selling at a hotel in Detroit also, right?
Well, we're not selling there yet. We've pitched. That's part of our strategy. We'd like to get into the hospitality because we feel like once you try it, you love it.
That's big now.
And so we can. And so and
that's
they're
our next
opening
move.
they're opening the Shinola Hotel in Detroit, and we're like, that would be the perfect marriage. Like,
to have a Michigan
this Detroit
brand.
this
I tried to buy
brand.
this guy's house, right? And it's an amazing house. Guy was filthy rich. And I just asked, I said, well, how did he get so rich? He was the one, he created a lotion, and he sold the lotion only to hotels. So you know when you go into the hotel rooms, you see the little lotion thing? That was his. And he made a fortune off of that.
Yeah, Marriott spends like $25 million just on
Oh my gosh, Detroit should be putting your lotion all
Come on,
over
Shinola Hotel. Let's get it going. We'll come and support as well.
Dan Gilbert.
Yep. So it's
I'm
one of
I'm sure he can tell them for us.
So one of our new directions for the brand is we're focusing now on experiences. So we've had a store for a year in Royal Oak. The store has done extremely well. Nice. But now we want to take the brand to the people.
Yeah.
So we want to do like pop-up experiences in places. Our first one is going to be Juices for Life in Brooklyn. We want to do one in Chicago and in LA. We're taking the brand to the people versus sitting in a storefront waiting for people to come to you.
Retail is a totally different world
as
now.
of December 31st, we're going to close our retail location. So we kind of we made it so that we don't have a lease in our space. We wanted to test the market.
It was a great branding.
So it was like we had a year to test everything to see how everything goes. It did well, but I don't necessarily like retail is changing. So I feel like I want to go to where the people are. People are always asking, are you going to open up one in Brooklyn? Are you going to open up one in Chicago? And it's hard having leases in all those different places. So we're going to pop up,
that makes sense.
Provide an experience where people can come see us make the product, shipping the product, really connecting with the community, but you can still get it.
You can come to our
and you can come to our space and buy it as well.
We always got some minorities in New York that are always willing and will help at any given time.
Yes.
And you have an Asian one and a black one.
Yeah.
And we do have the
Dominican you have.
We have a collection. I forgot there's a project that I can't tell you guys about. I'm actually just signed a deal. We're working with Foot Locker. And we're going to be telling this story. Like, we have this theme, Detroit inspires the world.
Right.
And we like to tell inspiring stories from our city and the people that are doing great things. So we actually partner with Puma, and I'll be coming out with 2 shoes that'll come to the world and through the Foot Locker brand. And I have 1 shoe that I'll be sending out personally to friends and family that no one will get. So
well, thank you.
Be on the lookout for that. I think that's fall 2019.
All right, well, Rick and Yolanda Williams.
Tell them about the pop-up shop again.
That's going to be in Brooklyn at Juices for Life. So
I like that spot.
It's a limited amount, and so make sure y'all come through today, because if it sells out today, we won't be there tomorrow. So I suggest you get there today.
Get there early. All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for
joining us.
Thank you. Going down anything. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.